Okay, today is December. What's today's date, best friend?
16th.
Today is December 16th, so that makes it officially 15 days on HRT. So today is June 2nd, 2023, and it is officially 6 months on HRT. Y'all, it's 5 p.m. I forgot to take my medicine, so we're gonna take it now. But first, we're gonna do a body update. So just gonna do like a little body update first. Let's see a little side. Am I in focus? A little side boob action. From the side. From the side, this is what it looks like. You see, like when I bend over, it does this. Then it does. Hey, I'm getting down because borderline feels like porn. I can't believe 6 months ago I was sitting here and I was just like, oh, it's day number 1, or it's day number 2, it's day number 3. It's 6 months is like, whew. I know one thing I wanted to talk about was the pros and cons of HRT, MTF, or at least the pros and cons for me. I think that's the first thing I want to say is like, pre-transition, I watched a lot of different videos and I looked at a lot of different Reddit threads. And I was like, okay, what do I need to expect? What's going to be the scoop? Give me all the stuff. And I think one of the biggest things I've learned on this journey is that it's very individualized. Like, it's a very personalized journey. And what will happen to you and what you'll get in what time is up to you, your DNA, and luck. So completely different, and don't compare yourself to anybody. Number 1, breast growth. That's hands down number 1. I know in my last video I was super excited to be able to like do this, and now like there's a whole, like, for reference, I wear a 34A. I think I'm just kind of spitballing. That's what size this is, but I don't know if that's like proper or not, because I don't know, I'm just spitballing here. It don't hurt and it fit right, so I wear a 34A, I think. So number 1, hands down for me, the best thing that's happened is breast growth, for sure. The second pro for me was this is the clearest my skin has ever been. Like, I get complimented on my skin all the time. People are just like, it's so clear. Oh, it's your routine. What's your this? I was like, girl, I'm popping these pills twice a day and they take care of all of that. Apparently, like, testosterone helps produce oil in the skin, and that is where acne can come from, like the oil blocking the pores and stuff. Had no idea, but that happens. Body hair slows down. In my experience, so pre-transition, I could probably shave once every 2 to 3 days, 4 days if I was feeling risky, and I could get away with it, you know? Now I can shave every 7 to 10 days. I'm talking about my face, by the way. I can shave every 7 to 10 days and be okay. Like, there's no, even if I do get a little stubble, the hair is a lot finer, so you don't see it. It's not as like harsh as before, which is also nice. Having a drop in libido was such a big shock for me because how I expressed myself sexually changed. Like, that entire department changed. If you have any questions about it, I'm embarrassed. If you have any questions about this, leave a comment or find me on Instagram. I'll post it here or in the description box, and DM me and ask your question, and I'll, like, on a one-on-one personable level, I'll talk to you about it. But for number 1 con right now, we'll just say drop in libido has been my biggest. Right behind that, weight gain. Before I started HRT, I was 185 pounds. So December 2nd, that video that you saw, I was 185 pounds. I weigh now like 209, 210. So over the past 6 months, I've gained 20 to 25 pounds. I gained about like 5 pounds a month. Pretty steady. Which is triggering for me because I haven't talked about it on this channel. I don't know if I ever will go into like super detail about it, but I had an eating disorder, like late teenage, early 20s, because I'm 23 now. And I never got it, like, I wouldn't say I don't know if you would say, I don't know if you would call it healing. I got to a place where I was able to maintain my weight, and I wasn't skipping consecutive meals. You know, it was a really tricky situation. And so I remember a couple of my friends that knew about my eating disorder, they were like, okay, well, I know Jamie specifically, she was just like, you know, you're like gonna gain weight when you start this. How's you gonna react to this? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I've taken it pretty well so far. I mean, every once in a while I have a bad day, and I'm just like, you know, but it's so, like, my everything has changed, and I think that's something that I really wanted to talk about, because generally people are like, oh, my body's changing, but a con for that can be if you're used to your body looking a certain way. Although I was happy with some of the things that were happening, I felt an overwhelming feeling of, like, almost like I let myself go. And it's like, okay, what do you mean by that? Like, I mean in the sense of, I look so different. I think that change was so big for me because I had to relearn myself. And I mean that in a sense of, the clothes that I used to love and that used to be my favorite, they don't fit the same anymore. The silhouette is different. They fit differently now. My favorite selfie angles, like, I had gotten it mastered down, like, you know, do the stuff. My face has gotten rounder, so those angles don't work the same anymore. Weight gain was a big one for me, and it's a catch-22, as Shane would say, because without the weight gain, it's like the breast tissue growth, the thighs spreading, you know, give me something to work with. But also, I don't know. And I wanted to open up about that because it's definitely something I've been a little self-conscious about, and I've been consciously working to make sure that I don't slip back into old habits, because that wouldn't be good for me at all. So I guess for me, outside of the price that I have to pay for this, I guess for me, I only had the 3.5 cons. We'll get there. So we have drop in libido, we have weight gain. Number 3 was I developed eczema. Never heard anybody say that. So basically, like I told you, testosterone in the skin helps produce oil. Well, I'm on testosterone blockers, so I have little to no oil, dry skin. And I don't know if everyone develops eczema or if it's just, like I said, your genetics and luck and all that stuff. It's just whatever. But it started because I just remember my face feeling dry. I was like, my face feels so dry. It feels dry right now. My face feels so dry. And I just ignored it. And I put it like this. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to keep it a bean. Pre-medical transition, I would get out of the shower. Child, I didn't have no moisturizer routine because I had oily skin. So I could get out of the shower, wouldn't put on a liquor lotion, Vaseline, nothing like that. Like, if it's not cold outside and I'm not, like, ashy, I didn't put it on. I didn't put it on. That came back to bite me in the ass because, I noticed it because I was, like, scratching. Like, I would just be like, you know what I'm saying? And then there's these, like, dark, like, you can't, I don't know if you can see. You can't see it healed. But there were, like, these dark patches that popped up on my skin sporadically. I thought it was ringworm. I remember being like I bought antibacterial soap. I was like, what the, what's going on with me? Like, I'm getting these little small circles everywhere. It wasn't ringworm. Eczema patches. I had, like, one here. Like, my hairline was a spot, like, on my stomach, my ass. Like, there was just spots everywhere. I ended up going to the doctor for just a regular checkup, and I explained it to her, and she was like, "Oh, honey, no, you have eczema." And like in a passing conversation with my mom, I was talking to my mom, and she was telling me that I had eczema as a kid. So I don't know if this is just my particular case because I had it growing up and it just kind of like came back, or if it has anything to do with the hormones at all. It happened on this journey, so for me it was a con. That's how I'm gonna put that. Remember I said like 3.5? The half con for me was sensitive skin. Now, like, or thinner skin, you know what I mean? Like I already have sensitive skin, which, believe it or not, my skin is less sensitive now. I feel like pre-medical transition, like I told you, I had a certain brand of soap I would use, and that's it. A certain brand of everything, and that's it. I bought some shower gel from Bath and Body Works because I like the way it smelled. So my skin is not as sensitive, but it's thinner. So I remember there's a video, if y'all see that collage, I don't know if y'all will see a collage. You might be like, what collage if you didn't see it? I recorded a video every morning of me taking my medicine for the first month, and I made a collage. Whether or not I'll post that or I'll just keep it for myself, who knows? If you see it, there's one of the videos where I say I broke out in hives. What I was talking about was I was in the shower, and pre-transition, you know, I used to, you know, I gotta get clean. That hurt. I gotta get clean, you know? And so I would like scrub and like really get in there, and I would get out of the shower and have like these big red patches on my skin. I was like, bro, this has never happened before. What's the problem? Thinner skin. I was scrubbing too hard. Can't do that. That's another thing. My emotions, I know my doctor was telling me like you could experience like emotions. My emotional state the past 6 months has been okay. Well, it's been no more sporadic than it usually is. I didn't mean to shade myself like that. What I was gonna say was, the only thing I've noticed is that like I can cry a lot easier now. And that's like a stereotype, like, oh, women cry, whatever. But like I was literally watching a time, this is like when I first started. Like it's like more like fluid and like stable now. When I first started transitioning, like I remember I couldn't like, I'm not gonna tell that story. But like the littlest thing could set me off and I would just cry. Like just bawl. But coming from a point where I couldn't cry much at all pre-medical transition, I'm just like, it went from not being able to cry at all pre-medical transition to first couple months I could just bawl over anything, and now I think I have a pretty healthy, you know, it's like, okay, if I'm sad, then I have a physical reaction that matches my mental state at the time, whereas in pre-transition I would just be sad but there would be no tears. For me, for the most part, those were like my only cons. Other than that, it's been an amazing journey so far. My mind feels so different. I feel so different. And I can't imagine like my life without these. Starting HRT for me made everything make sense. Like I was like, this is how this is supposed to look. Like this is how I'm supposed to feel. Like I am now who I thought I was then. Yeah, but I just wanted to come on here today and say happy Pride to everyone. I'm happy to be celebrating 6 months on HRT today. And I'm proud of myself because I recorded this on the actual day. Yeah, it's been super great. Like I said, if you have any questions about like anything I've experienced or anything that I didn't cover in this video, feel free to comment below. Or like I said, find me on Instagram and DM me, and I'll respond when I see it, and we can have a personal one-on-one and talk about, you know, just ask any questions that you have, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability, or if I can't answer them, point you in the direction of a trusted source that I trust. I'm just happy to be back. Hey, I love you. I'm gonna go, I wanna go buy some breakfast. I don't know if that's the most economical decision I can make, but I want to go buy some breakfast to celebrate 6 months.